For our sustainable city, we chose Singapore. Singapore is a sovereign island city-state in Southeast Asia and is home to 5.6 million people. It has an annual GDP of 364.2 billion USD, as reported by the World Bank in 2018, and the Department of Statistics of Singapore states that Singapore has a population density of 7,810 people per square kilometer, making it a very high population density city. According to the 2015 Sustainable Singapore Blueprint, sustainability has been a goal of Singapore since the 1960s, long before public awareness of environmental issues became widespread. Given the fact that Singapore was only just founded in 1965, this means that sustainable development has quite literally always been a goal of the city. The then Prime Minister, Mr. Lee Kuan Yew, believed that a blighted urban jungle of concrete destroys the human spirit and that we need the greenery of nature to lift our spirits. And thus, a series of sustainable measures has started. In 1968, Singapore launched its Keep Singapore Clean campaign, clamped down on air pollution through the 1971 Clean Air Act, and moved pollutive industries away from residential areas in the 1970s. In addition, since the early decades of Singapore's growth, the Urban Redevelopment Authority, a government agency of Singapore, has regularly reviewed Singapore's land use plans to meet land demands while also balancing economic and social development. Sustainability measures such as these limit the environmental impact that Singapore has upon the environment while still making sure that it can develop as a city. Singapore's sustainability efforts have three goals in mind: a competitive economy that attracts investments and provides jobs, a sustainable environment that helps the city thrive despite its limited natural resources, especially land and fresh water, and a high quality of life that benefits people. The current Prime Minister Lee Hsien Loong states in the 2015 Sustainable Singapore Blueprint that Singapore supports global efforts towards sustainable development and does so by hosting international urban solution meetings such as the biennial World Cities Summit, and also by signing agreements such as the Paris Agreement. In addition, Singapore offers itself as a living lab where companies can work closely with government agencies to innovate and use new technology for sustainable urban solutions. This suggests that institutional diversity is encouraged by the Singapore government, as both government and private parties can collaborate to benefit Singapore. The 2015 plan goes over a series of case studies of successful sustainability plans, such as improving waste management facilities and electric vehicle sharing. The plan concludes with a set of 2030 targets that Singapore believes they can achieve, which includes progress towards things such as more green and blue spaces, better mobility, better air quality, and more resource sustainability.
Singapore's plan for sustainability includes both social and economic initiatives that make it the ideal green city. The Sustainable Singapore Blueprint, published by the Ministry of Sustainability and the Environment in 2015, details these initiatives, like the government's strategies to become a car-light society. The goal of this is to decrease vehicle emissions that contribute to air pollution, reduce the city's carbon footprint, and also lessen traffic congestion. According to the blueprint, the Civic District of Singapore is a model example of this. They've converted many roads to beautiful pedestrian walkways, perfect for leisurely walks or bike rides. Additionally, on the morning of the last Sunday of every month, the streets of both the Civic District and the Central Business District are closed to vehicles, allowing for people to walk, exercise, or participate in social events. Open spaces nearby have been host to sports and fitness events, picnics, and other family-friendly activities. In Singapore, not only do they prioritize sustainable levels of vehicle emissions, but community life as well. Singapore tackles this issue from an economic angle as well. The blueprint details that in 1998, electronic road pricing, or ERP, was introduced. Basically, a fee is deducted from the driver's prepaid card every time they drive past an ERP gantry, which are placed in normally busy areas. The point of this is to reduce traffic congestion, which in turn cuts the excess emissions created by heavy traffic. Because of this initiative, traffic in Singapore is a lot more pleasant. That's not all. The Sustainable Singapore Blueprint introduces the Keep Singapore Clean movement. a campaign to make the public feel more responsibility towards keeping public spaces clean. It's led by the Public Hygiene Council. Litter, in addition to being unsightly, can pollute the water and soil with toxic chemicals and non-biodegradable materials. To keep Singapore and its rivers pretty, this movement makes citizens value their space by encouraging community litter pickup sessions, supporting advocacy, and training volunteers to explain to litterers why they should rethink their actions. In May 2015, Operation We Clean Up was launched, which included activities in schools and businesses to clean their shared spaces. Wouldn't it be nice to live somewhere where it'd be odd to see a soda cup on the sidewalk? Clean spaces and open roads aren't the only things Singapore's blueprint works towards. Green architecture is important as well. The Building and Construction Authority has launched and given substantial funding to a green buildings innovative cluster for researching and testing green development techniques like less energy-intensive air conditioning or timed lights. Since 2014, gross floor area bonuses have been used to encourage building owners to invest in more energy-efficient equipment. Oftentimes, this environmentally friendly technology coincides with lush urban green spaces, so living in Singapore is a dream for both aesthetics and technological advancement.
Singapore, also known as the Lion City or Garden City, is known for its many parks, various tree-lined streets, and vast greenery. This sovereign island city-state does very well environmentally and is known to be one of the cleanest cities in the world according to clearwater.eu.com. Singapore has top-of-the-art infrastructure that aids in the city's sustainability and is all included in the Sustainable Singapore Blueprint. The current Prime Minister, Lee Hsien Loong, has outlined the many different initiatives and infrastructures that have dated since their independence. These measures make Singapore a beautiful place to live in and attracts many immigrants to this beautiful Southeast Asian country. Singapore launched its Keep Singapore Clean campaign in 1968, which clamped down on air pollution through the 1971 Clean Air Act and moved pollutive industries away from residential areas in the 1970s. By the 1980s, they had transformed the heavily polluted Singapore River into a beautiful, vibrant destination. The Singapore River isn't the only feature that people who move here are attracted to. As stated previously in the Jurong Lake District case study in the Sustainable Singapore Blueprint, Singapore is known to be a city full of gardens. Roads in selected districts have been removed to create activity spaces for the public. The Urban Redevelopment Authority has undertaken extensive improvement works in and around the district to enhance the experience of this arts precinct. A spacious new lawn in front of the Victoria Theatre not only helps to create open vistas and majestic views of the theatre, but also adds greenery to soften the landscape and provide shade. In February 2016, URI piloted the first edition of Car-Free Sunday SG in the area around the civic and central business districts. These streets were close to vehicular traffic on the last Sunday morning of every month. With the roads free of cars, walkers, joggers, and cyclists were able to take to the streets, while adjacent open spaces hosted sports and fitness sessions, family-friendly activities, and a picnic area. Along with green space, you can't overlook the Jurong Lake District, where the once industrial suburb is now being revitalized into the 90-hectare Jurong Lake Gardens, which will become Singapore's third national garden. A top favorite reason for living in Singapore, aside from its natural beauty, are its smart public housing. As found in the co-location of Tuas Water Reclamation Plant and Integrated Waste Management Facility case study in the Blueprint, the Housing and Development Board's Sustainable Development Framework set out to find new technologies that enable residents to live with a lighter environmental footprint. Singapore's Housing and Development Board analyzed wind flow, solar irradiance, and shading to identify the best locations for solar panels and outdoor community amenities. It also modeled how water, waste, transport, energy, and other systems interact to help planners and designers understand the trade-offs involved when integrating green features into the estate. This green technology-powered living can be found in the Punggol North Shore area, but is moving its way to other existing cities as well. Out of the many reasons to live in Singapore, its zero waste initiative has to be one of the most impressive. Landscarce Singapore incinerates its waste to conserve landfill space and harvest energy from burning. Today, all incinerable waste is disposed of at 4 waste-to-energy plants that supply up to 3% of Singapore's energy needs. Because of space limitations, offshore landfills have been considered, and in 1994, it was decided that Palau Semakau, an island south of mainland Singapore, would be developed for a landfill. By burning, lining the ash with a membrane-lined butt to prevent leaching, and turning the ash and waste into land, it pushes the nation forward in their goal of being zero waste. The treatment of used water and the treatment of waste are also particularly efficient, with used water being channeled by sewers to water reclamation plants, recyclables to recycling plants, and incinerable waste to waste-to-energy plants. As part of Phase 2 of the deep tunnel sewerage system, Singapore intends to co-locate its upcoming Tuas water reclamation plant with an integrated waste management facility to optimize land use and more efficiently reclaim water, generate energy, and process waste. This efficient waste and water management paired with being space conscious leads Singapore to be a nation the whole world should look up to.
Singapore is pushing the limits in an effort to maximize the Garden City's efficiency, optimization, and sustainability. Its continued investment in infrastructure generates all kinds of developments in harnessing energy, maximizing water resources, and even increasing local green living. Singapore's economic rise has contributed to the development of a greener landscape, as city officials and urban planners help the city continue to grow. In fact, according to Singapore's sustainability plan, all new developments in the city must contain a form of plant life, whether that be through the use of green roofs, vertical gardens, and greenery walls. However, this push towards adopting more sustainable green infrastructure is not an entirely new idea, as it has been mandatory since 2008. We recommend Singapore expands its green living spaces and infrastructure, similar to what Ching Hoon Hoon, the first woman to lead the city's urban development agency and the CEO of the Housing and Development Board, elaborates in 2017 to the National Geographic. Increasing green living can improve the city's sustainability efforts, as more buildings should be tasked with achieving Green Mark certifications. This certification motivates sustainable development and generates lush scenery, tourist opportunities, and greater investments. Another key aspect in future sustainability initiatives in Singapore would be water, especially as continuing the innovation and conservation of this resource provides many benefits. With water demand growing, expected to nearly double by the year 2060, Singapore's National Water Agency needs to work towards effectively managing water resources. By adopting a smarter water grid of the city, water usage can be easily tracked, providing essential information in water management. Other long-term sustainable water initiatives include expanding the water collection systems already in place. By building more networks of drains, channels, and reservoirs for urban water harvesting, this resource can be recycled throughout the city and allow Singaporeans to continue to recognize water as a precious resource. We also encourage the City of Singapore to effectively reduce and ultimately ban all forms of non-renewable energy sources in favor of cleaner, renewable energy. By increasing the solar energy initiatives throughout the city, as well as the government increasing carbon taxes for energy corporations, we can greatly encourage this shift. In fact, Visit Singapore reports in their Sustainable Future Plan that solar power is regarded as the city-state's most reliable renewable energy source, especially given the year-round tropical climates. However, such initiatives in furthering Singapore's sustainable development are only possible through the collaboration of experts in fields like technology, design, and urban planning. Singapore provides a hub for international urban environmental solutions, which attracts many individuals from all over the globe with aims at bettering the environment and creating a more sustainable world.